again, guys. I want to thank you for investing in the Shareholders podcast, man. God is good. He's always good. And I'm excited about this show. I'm hoping this will be the launch of a whole new series of shows. I've been trying to get these two guys to do this on their own, but I'm going to bring them on because, man, we about to talk, as you can see behind them, we about to talk the business of shoes, sneakerheads, sales, tennis shoes, kicks, all of that. You know what I mean? And it is nothing to play with, guys. This is a lucrative business. And so if you don't know, if you're too old to not realize that, talk to a young person and they'll let you know. Talk to anybody, even middle-aged, and they'll let you know what's going on. So I have with me two guys that are deep in the business themselves. I got Mr. Drayvon Reed, Drizzy Got Soul. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for being on. And I got, of course, that is my brother, Joe Owens. He is, you changed your moniker up, man. It's Joe Soul, right?
Yeah. Yeah, people have been asking me for years why in the world I had the one I had, so I figured I had to change it up, something a little bit more modern.
Changed it up. Now, these are the guys I go to when I'm trying to figure out the shoe game. I go to them because I've never been a big, sneakerhead guy. I love sneakers, you know what I mean? But I can't always tell you which Jordan Retro 5 is this and then which one is that and the new Yeezy. I just be knowing what I like and I be telling them, yo, can y'all find it for me? But these guys are deep in it. And I want to give you guys very quickly, I got a few stats. Now do understand this. Nike, of course, is the king still. Nike last year reported $24 billion in sales. Do you understand that? Worldwide, 24 billion. Adidas was next with 15 billion. And then you have lower ones, Asics, Puma, 2.9 billion, 1.1 billion with Under Armour. Still, that's a lot of money, folks, okay? And that is a worldwide phenomenon. Now, these guys are too young, but I remember this because the sneaker game got serious when Michael Jordan first entered the league. And if you watch the Michael Jordan documentary, he talks about how he wanted to sign with Adidas, but his mother made him take a meeting with Nike. He really didn't want to do it. He ended up taking the deal with Nike. Nike gave him a deal. They hoped that his shoe, that first Air Jordan, would do about $3 million in sales. They'd be like, that's good. And that thing ended up doing 125 million for sales. And then also coupled with that, a lot of people don't realize this, but for Adidas, Run DMC came out and they started rocking these Adidas shoes they had a song, My Adidas, and the rap game was blowing up. And that's really two things at the same time. You got hip hop, sports, and it's coming like that. So that's a little brief history. There's a lot more to it, but I want to just ask you guys to begin with, what do you think is behind this sneaker? It's growing so exponentially. Dre, I'll ask you first. What do you think is behind the sneaker explosion every year, how it keeps getting bigger and bigger?
Honestly, I feel like what's kind of launched the sneaker game even further than what it already is social media. Like before that, it was just kind of like a niche kind of hobby and it was just like a word of mouth thing. But now you see, as you see on Instagram and Twitter, these companies don't have to do any type of promoting anymore. We're the ones that's actually promoting it. So I think social media is probably the biggest thing that's pushing the sneaker game either further and further, along with celebrities and all that as a combination.
So Joe, what's your take on it?
No, same. Social media is huge because like Dre said, gone is the days of having to put out ads in the paper or big billboards and stuff like that. You got guys constantly in, competition, who's got the newest release. Now it's who can get it before it comes out. So guys are paying extra money to try and get it. So the exclusivity that people have on social media has really taken it, I think, further than it's ever been.
It's funny because I remember, again, I'm old school, but back in the day, Nike had such great marketing with Michael Jordan, and he was in commercials with Spike Lee. And you look forward to them commercials because they were so great and they were so well done. And that was the real marketing. But like you guys said, now, as with a lot of things, social media has just totally pushed things. And that's the crazy thing is I usually see these shoes on social media before I see them anywhere else. And I'm like, yo, what is that? You know what I mean? And yeah, I think these companies have truly marketed on it.
It's a good thing, a bad thing though.
Oh, go ahead, speak on it.
It's making it more harder for get down, Bailey. It's making it more harder for like the average consumer or people who actually just want to choose to wear them. Now it's like people are making this a business, and it's you got to deal with the value of the shoe and people tempted to resell the shoe and stuff like that. So
no, for sure. I remember when the breads came out, the bread 11, slight flex. But when the breads came out, I remember a whole bunch of like people who were around when they first came out were like, "Oh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them," and I was just like, "It's not that simple anymore. Like, you can't just go into a store anymore. You gotta be on a certain app at a certain time. Sometimes you got to know a certain person who's got a certain connect." So, like Dre was saying, the way stuff has changed, and you've gone into days of just trying to go into a store and buy a shoe. Like you gotta sometimes know people who know people, to get basic shoes sometimes.
Oh, let's go into that next, because now, there's like lottery things, and I hear people talking about like the app. Like, I'm trying this app, man. They be so mad the app failed me on that. What is that? First of all, break down what is the app lottery thing. What is all that?
It's a love.
That's all you, Dre. That's all you, man.
Love-hate relationship. So, like before, like a couple years ago, it was a little. I mean, granted, it's always been hard to get sneakers because there's always been some type of demand. But now it's like there's a sneakers app, which it's Nike's app, how they release their shoes to the public. And now, not only do you have to compete with actual human beings, you have to compete with bots and programming systems that are automatically putting in these raffles and entries for other people. So it's very, like, for the normal person who only has one or two accounts, like maybe their brother, the mom, like it's very hard for us to hit these shoes consistently. And it's like, even though it's a high chance that we're going to strike out on them, we still wake up on the West Coast, 7:00, and put in our little entry in hopes to win. It got to the point where I'll just put in my entry and I'll just go back to sleep. I won't even wait. I'll wait. I'll go to sleep and then wake back up whenever, I get up, and then I'll see then. But that's where it's at now. We're praying to hit on the app. And when we do, we're praising God because, we finally hit a shoe. We paying retail. We're not getting these shoes for free. When you win, you have to pay.
Yeah. That's just for the right to buy the shoe, basically.
For the opportunity to buy.
Wow, that is it's a whole new day, folks. It is a whole new day. So, okay, then my next thing is, and another reason why I wanted you guys on, the resale market is into the billions now. And when I say resale, so now I'm saying this: you win the lottery for the shoe, or you get the hookup for the shoe, and you have it, and you're not even going to keep it. You're going to now sell it and make more. And that is into the billions of dollars of the resale market for shoes. And I know both of you guys know about that. Speak a little bit on how big that is in terms of reselling the shoes that you might find and get.
No, for sure. I mean, like Dre was saying, I remember telling somebody I want a raffle for a pair of shoes, and they're like, "Oh, so you got them for free?" And I was like, "No, I got the chance to buy it." And they didn't get it at first until I explained. I was like, "No, I'm gonna pay $160 for a shoe." I was like, on the market right now, this shoe's going for $500, $600, $700.
Yeah.
So that's how people are seeing it. You got websites like StockX, which is literally like if you follow the stock market, it's like a stock market for shoes and different types of collectibles that people go on to see. How much is this shoe selling for? If I buy this one at retail for $200, how much can I sell it for? So it's like literally, like Dre was saying, like if no one's getting the shoes for free, you're getting a chance to buy the shoe to say, all right, I can make 5%, 10% profit, whatever it is, and you just keep kind of flipping from there, which is even crazy because used shoes are even going, like, if you get, I got several shoes back there that I bought that were already used, and I'm able to wear them and still sell them for more than what they came for.
Okay, I didn't know that part. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So shoes because I guess they're creating such a demand and they keep the supply at a certain level that people really, okay, so let me then ask you guys this. Well, no, first let me start with this, because what we've also seen, again, like I say, with Michael Jordan, there is a celebrity part to this. I was just looking up, and I'm going to butcher it now because I can't find where I had it. But I want to say that they said Rihanna boosted Puma's overall stock price so high because she put a shoe out with her line, and she's got a following, and Puma's not a high level place, but just that boost with Rihanna was huge for their company line. Now, of course, we've also seen Kanye West. Kanye West is the proprietor of the Yeezy brand, and he was with Nike at first, and he went to Adidas, and he's actually getting, I was reading, he's getting more royalties with Adidas than he was with Nike, and his Yeezy brand is just really just totally blown up and really helped Adidas as well. So I want to ask you guys then, how much we'll just stick with Kanye for right now, but how much do you really believe it was just the fact that his name was on it? It was just a Kanye shoe, and that's really what did it.
Honestly, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Kanye, he, in a way, he kind of has a cult following, because he's a music, artist, and a lot of people were already kind of like backing him with his music. So once he went to Nike, it was like, that was when like everything he put out had such a demand where it was flying off the shelves. And I don't think Nike made the right decision to let him go, but I think it was better for him to go to Adidas because he got a little bit more control, more hands-on. That's what he really wanted anyways. But I definitely think that his name, it plays a big part. And it actually, one year, I think it was 2016 or something like that, his name alone was competing with Nike for the top sales that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I know you've had a couple of the pairs. I mean, they're not even hooping shoes. Are they just more casual?
It's literally, it's funny because I've asked people who aren't into shoes like what they think about it. They're like, it's the ugliest shoe. But if you go to the airport, if you go to a gym, you're gonna see somebody with the shoes. So, and it kind of goes to what Dre was saying. It's just like the name of Kanye West is what's selling the shoe. Like, there've always been, collabs, we call them in the sneaker world, where you get an artist or a brand or something like that, they collaborate on the shoe and whatnot. There's always been collabs, but when Kanye did his with the Nikes, the sneaker world just went crazy, and that kind of started more and more people collaborating. Now you got, this rapper Travis Scott. Yeah. He's kind of in that similar vein where anything he puts his name out on sells. You got designers like Virgil Abloh, and now he's partnering off doing stuff with Louis Vuitton and stuff. So it's just these guys, their names, they can unfortunately put out some unappealing stuff, but it doesn't matter because well, I mean, he's gonna say it's trash. It'd be trash, but it doesn't even matter. And I'll fall and pray to that where I bought some stuff where I didn't even like the shoe, but because I knew the name was on it, I knew it was gonna sell.
I mean, and that's basically marketing with anything, any product really. But so I want to ask you guys this, because I was talking about the Yeezys even for hooping. Now, of course, like I said, Michael Jordan really ushered a lot of this in, and he's the basketball player. So you would see him on the court playing in the shoes, you know what I mean? And LeBron, you would see him on the court playing in the shoes. So I remember me coming up playing basketball. That's really what I was really thinking about primarily. But I don't know, probably in the last 15 years maybe, or 10 years, it really became more about the fit than you actually hooping in these shoes. So you would see some wild colors. Now me, I remember we didn't have a whole lot, so I couldn't just have no one outfit shoes. But if you buying some joints that's green with purple and a yellow, that ain't just your everyday shoe. But what do you guys think changed to where now folks really do be buying it for the fit, and you might just wear these sneakers with just this outfit or maybe one or two?
Well, I mean, really a big thing was, I remember it was a documentary, and they were saying when Nike was doing the campaigning and stuff, they were like, we got to get pictures of Jordan outside of the court wearing these shoes. And when he started doing that, it started changing people's mindsets to like, well, wait a minute, I don't have to be able to play basketball to wear shoes. And once more collaborators, which is smart on Nike's part, once they started collaborating with more artists and designers, people started saying, oh, okay, well, Kanye West doesn't play basketball, Travis Scott doesn't play basketball, but they're still putting out hot shoes. So the more the market saw that these products could be used in more than one facet, then it became, okay, who's got the best fit? There's Instagram accounts that are solely dedicated to who's wearing what shoes they got on, what outfit they got on. So once they change the market like that, it changed the perception for people.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like Joe was saying, once people start to see Jordan wearing the shoes off court, it became more of acceptance to daily, lifestyle wear. Mm-hmm. So I think that helped out too. And a lot of these athletes, when they walk in pregame, they got on, they fit. That also helps too.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think then goes into, with these companies actually branding a certain person? I know even still though, basketball players, the Chef Currys, and Kawhi might put out a shoe here and there, whether you like it or not. I know a couple, different guys that, will have their own shoe. I remember I actually had some Paul Georges way back in the day. I love those shoes, man. They was great. It was comfortable, you know what I mean? But do you really think now it is more so about, like you said, Joe, the Travis Scotts and the pop guys instead of, I mean, I guess they're going to still do hooper shoes, but really it seems like everything's moving now toward more pop culture. Like, God help us if one of them Kardashians put out a shoe that's some hooper stuff, but it will be done. But do you really think we'll probably see less maybe basketball guys getting the deals and more pop culture guys?
Yeah, I mean, somebody made a great statement. They said rappers want to be hoopers and hoopers want to be rappers. So, I mean, and I think it's that, sometimes basketball players are looked at as these freaks of nature who we can't necessarily relate to. But a lot of rappers, people know, they're at one point they were a normal guy just with some nice beats behind them. So I think sometimes the relatability makes these guys more marketable. And, and two, there's with basketball, you got, injuries and whatnot. A guy could be hot right now and then kind of fall off. We've seen that with different shoes. Like people forget Dwight Howard had a shoe and then his career kind of fell off a little bit. And yeah, he I don't know. I don't even know. No, he did. Yeah, he lost that shoe deal.
Yeah, he was with Adidas and he lost.
Yeah. And as crazy as Kanye West is, he's still got this, he's still out there making shoes. So it's a crazy difference how they have it with athletes and celebrities.
Okay, so let's get down to it, guys. Let's ask the real questions now. So what's hot right now? Like what's the hottest shoe out maybe right now, or a couple of the hottest ones? Let me hear some names.
Any Jordan 1.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to buy Jordan 1s. New sneakerheads, old sneakerheads. Those shoes sell out in seconds. And right now they have the best return on interest if you are trying to flip shoes.
Yeah. Okay, so the Jordan 1s. So any Jordan 1, man, just
any Jordan.
Well, I'm gonna specify. So mainly Jordan 1 highs. There are some Jordan mids that
we don't mess with mids.
Yeah, we don't wear mids. We don't wear mids.
Okay, so that's I didn't know that. Okay, all right, no mids.
Some mids surprisingly do have good return rates. And Jordan lows, those are kind of like the same thing with mids. Those are hit or miss. But the main focus is Jordan 1 highs.
Okay, all right. So that's good to know. We educate. And is it easier then to get, what's maybe a little easier to get this, maybe not the Jordan? Can you still get some in the Jordan brand, or will you not get no clout with another kind of Jordan?
As long as it's a retro, which retro pretty much means a shoe that Jordan wore typically. So, he's got numbers for each shoe. We had 14, typically between 14 and 1, you'll get some clout. When you start getting in the higher numbers, the 24s and whatnot, those are for like the serious Jordan heads, but you ain't really getting many likes on the gram with the 29s or nothing like that.
Okay, so See, this is good to know. This is because I'll mess up and get to 28, think I'm doing something. Right. So, and then, all right. So then conversely, well, wait, real quick. Because this is crazy. Michael Jordan been retired since like 96. Well, he came back, but we really just say since the 96 Bulls. You know what I'm saying? He been retired for decades and he's still by far, I mean, as much as them Kanye's is doing all this, by far, like, what is it about Jordan? Like, he don't even play no more.
What I personally think it is, just for me, and I'm sure a lot of people my color can relate. A lot of us come from single parent homes, and we were younger. You know, our parents, or for me, like my mom, she only provided the essentials. You know, roof over your head, made sure you have food, and once in a while you get a pair of shoes. Like back then, you get like one pair of all whites, one pair of all black, whether it was Fila's 2 for $89s or Air Force Ones. And back then, you had to clean them same shoes, maybe swap out laces. So it was very different back then. You couldn't really get everything that came out. So for me, once I got older, a lot of the stuff that I'm like started buying once, you know, I provided for myself. It's all the shoes that Jordan was wearing, and then, you know, the current stuff that's coming out. So I think that's why it's a cycle. And the kids right now who are in the same situation, you know, they can't really get the shoes that they want. So once they get old enough, and Jordan's going to keep a retro in these shoes, and it's just a repeating cycle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It is a brilliant marketing scheme that he has going right now. So then we'll finish up with this then. What is your favorite shoe? We're gonna ask both of you guys. What's your favorite shoe? Okay.
I mean,
right, bam.
Hold up, hold on one second.
So specifically, Dre, what are those? I know those Jordan ones.
Yeah, Jordan 1 breads.
Okay.
This isn't technically Jordan's first shoe. This is his first model. His first shoe came out in '85, but this was retro in 2013.
Are those the ones he said he wore later on and it was messing his feet up? Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah. So that shoe, they had to like customize it and put like an ankle strap on it to support his ankle.
Yeah.
But the other colorway, it was the same model, but the Chicago colorway is the one that he said he was wearing that was making his foot bleed.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a double nickel game.
Yeah, that was what was crazy about it too, because he killed the Knicks. But okay, all right, Joe, you got one you can.
So I'm as far as Jordans, it is the Jordan 1s is probably my favorite. The shattered backboard colorway only because I am a diehard San Francisco Giants fan, so it kind of goes with that. But my favorite shoe of all time is this one. It's the LeBron 10 Cork. So when he won his second championship, they did a commemorative shoe. And this was like before I knew a lot about sneakers, so I had no chance of getting the shoe. And then once I kind of got into the game, I knew a guy who knew a guy. We ended up doing a trade. And then that's how I got. We call them grails. So if there's a shoe that you always wanted, you've been trying to get a long time, that's basically how I got the grail. So yeah, this one for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up. I kind of skipped over LeBron, but I want to real quick before we go. What is LeBron's real impact? Now we know we ain't talking Jordans. He's not on Jordan level, you know. But is he kind of on a Kanye level, or is he even lower than Kanye when his stuff comes out? Like, is it not as big? Like, where would you put LeBron's level?
He's as far as his brand and his shoes, I think he's kind of like his demand for his shoes have kind of like died down.
Uh-huh.
Anything after the LeBron 11 is kind of like hit or miss, but majority of his good shoes are in between 1 and 11 for the most part. Yeah. And ironically, LeBron is my favorite player. You know, that's who I grew up on, but I have way more Jordans than I do LeBrons. Weird, I don't know.
And I know you rock with him too, Joe.
Yeah,
but it's just funny how
it's interesting because people were saying he's kind of in a similar vein that Jordan was in when he was playing. Because when Jordan was playing, Jordans were hot, but you could still go to the store, you know, and buy a pair of Jordans for retail price. Yeah. Obviously, once he retired, You know, people were like, oh, they're never going to come out with the ones again. They're never going to come out with the threes. No one had ever really retroed shoes before. So the demand went up high. That's when you kind of saw people buying crazy. So, and other players, LeBron's actually started retroing shoes and whatnot. But I'm kind of feeling a similar vein will happen because now you see pennies are coming back out. You see Pippins coming back out. So nostalgia really sells. It really sells. Whether it's shoes or TV, they're rebooting all these shows. They're bringing them back on Netflix. Nostalgia, man, it really sells.
That's an excellent point. Well said, because you really do. It's something about just that when you ever hear retro, I automatically look like what they talking about. What's retro? What's, because it is. Even hate to take it here, but God rest his soul. I remember Kobe's shoes were always kind of hit and miss, but of course once he passed, there was a huge surge for any of Kobe's shoes. Like I said, at the time, and maybe because he had not that long ago been playing, he didn't really have a huge impact. Some people really didn't like the style of Kobe's, all that. But once, unfortunately what happened, we saw just that nostalgia of wanting to have something representing Kobe really, really just surged in sales and stuff too. So, man, I want to thank you guys. I've learned a lot. I'm still not on y'all level, of course, but, maybe y'all can hit these guys up, tell them how much you like this show, because I'm trying to get them. I'm telling y'all, people really be talking about these shoes, man. Every week I be seeing guys, and, Joe, I saw you shout out a guy, the cleaner guy or whatever, and he got a whole bunch of people following him. I'm like, man.
Yeah, that dude is. Like, it's crazy. Like we started from the top of the show, man, how big social media is taking people's careers. Because this dude was cleaning shoes in the Boulevard Mall. And then just, something happened. Now he's got a whole worldwide franchise. So it's crazy.
And you guys pray for me because Joe, what's the shoe I keep bugging you about that I want? I keep forgetting.
It's that the auto lacing Jordan 11, which
what those?
That's what I want.
Do you know how much those cost retail?
Yeah.
Hey man, listen. I'm treating myself if I can, but Joe don't even think I'm gonna get a handle on them because they bad, man.
I don't think they're gonna really sell out.
See, but I looked at the resale prices.
Retail $500.
$500?
Yeah, before tax. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, okay, yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, if y'all need to give me some boost on these podcasts, man, I need some sponsorship or something, man, because man, I love shoes, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, last question. We leaving. How much would you pay for your favorite shoe to try to get? How much would you be willing to pay? These is real sneakerheads, y'all.
Whoa. Dog bothering me.
Limited edition, retro. We ain't made but 55 in the world. You got a shot at them.
Okay, I'll say this. So, the Kanye West shoe, despite how I feel about him now, the one he came out with Nike, that's like
Yeezys.
That's a pretty far out shoe. If somebody just needed the money and had them out for some reason I'll say this. If somebody had them out there for $1,500, which probably will never happen, but if someone had them out for $1,500, and they were in dead stock condition, which means never worn and stuff like that. If somebody was crazy enough to put them for that price, I know that sounds high. I drop everything.
Oh my God! You talking about the
credit card getting maxed out? Yep.
I'm looking at this price. Okay? Now, Joe, you saying $1,500? I'm seeing on something called StockX.
5,000, huh? 6,000, somewhere around
7,000.
Yeah.
For some Air Yeezy. Good Lord.
Scratch it. If they dead stock and someone had them for $2,000, I might be missing a couple meals, man. I may have to miss a couple meals, man.
I agree. I think it would have to be between the Nike Air Yeezys and the Air Max. Even though
I was thinking those two, yeah.
I probably wouldn't wear the Air Max. I would only get it just as a display piece, which is kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of backwards. But I really would probably spend like between 15 to 2,000 for some.
Wow. Now, I know casual viewers, casual listeners, y'all may be like, oh my God, but I'm telling you, look up these shoes, man. These jokers online are in the high thousands that people paying for these. So, I mean, that seemed like a lot, but man, I did not know that. But all right, I want to thank my man Dre. I want to thank my brother Joe coming on the show today, man. I appreciate it. This is the Shareholders Podcast, man. We talking business, man, and the business of shoes is huge. You know what I mean? So please hit us up, support the show. Of course, you know where to go. I'm minding mine as well. As always, you guys, man, be blessed, stay sharp. Thank you, guys.
Sure.
This has been a production of the Mighty Sharp Network. Executive producer is Monty Mont. Watch the corners and always stay sharp.
Breastplate of righteousness. Oh, feet fitted with the gospel of peace. Oh, belt of truth. Oh, oh, oh. She